Welcome everyone, Will here from GoToMarketGuru.com. In this module of breaking into software sales, we're going to talk about how to structure your search and ranking preferences in particular. So we'll take a holistic view where we focus on the industry, the sector, the company, the department, and the people involved. Have a methodical approach for breaking in, and your search to get a job in software sales will be that much easier. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Check out my channel for more videos, as well as my website, GoToMarketGuru.com, for professional software sales courses. Bye for now.
Moving on now to ranking preferences, let's look at how you should structure your view when going on your search. At least in my experience, it was tempting to just, kind of shoot applications to companies without any sense of, what I was applying to. I refer to it as a shotgun approach, and it's not very effective. So when applying, it's very important to rank your preferences, and we're going to do that using a number of different criteria. It's going to be fairly objective this way and structured. So starting with industry. This course kind of assumes that you're going to be taking the Account Executive Bootcamp for technology sales, but in case you're not to, there are a variety of industries to apply to, so just break it down by industry. Secondly, sector. We want to look at different subsectors within the industry, and so we'll go on to look at those. Then stage of company, as you remember likely in the introductory technology overview course, the free part of the free packet series, there was seed stage companies, series A, B, and C, so that's what I mean by stage. And then the company itself, in the next lecture series, part 3 of this course, we're going to talk about what kind of questions and things to look for in a company. And then position, the position itself, what are the key qualities within that position? So industry, sector, stage, company, and position. This is how you should frame your perspective when applying to positions. We'll now move on and go in depth for each one of them. So beginning with industry, in this case, as you can see, I'll get the pointer out. We have real estate, information technology, healthcare, consumer packaged goods, insurance. I just listed 5 here. There are more. The focus here, however, is information technology. And when you're looking at the industry, just some things you want to be aware of is what's its growth profile? Is this thing growing like crazy? Is it kind of tailing off, or is it a declining industry? Do I value the work, the economic activity that comes out of this industry? Is technology interesting? Or is real estate more interesting? Or is healthcare more interesting? Do you actually value it? And then the people. What kind of people work in this industry? Are they people like me? Do I get along with them? Do I want to work with them? And the work that they do, what kind of work is involved in this industry? Is it helping people? Is it making the world a better place? Is it intellectually stimulating? What have you? Once you have the industry down, look at the sector. So with respect to information technology, the different sectors, if you recall, in the free lecture series were services, software, hardware, emerging, and telecoms. Again, growth. Look at growth. You don't want to enter a declining industry. You just don't. It's not good for your career path. So look at growth. Is it a growing industry? 2, do you have interest in that particular subsector? Are you interested in telecoms? Or are you interested in the emerging new stuff? Or do you like hardware because it just makes sense to you? Are you more of a service-oriented person? What have you? Scale. The sector. How big is that sector? Is it a $10 billion sector? Is it a $500 billion sector? The size is going to determine how many companies and, how much growth those companies can have. And access, do you live in a location that gives you access to that sector? If you live in Silicon Valley, software is great. If you live in rural Idaho, maybe not. Maybe you have to move. So figure out what access level you have to these different sectors. Stage of company. Again, you might recall seed, series A, B, C+, and post-IPO if you took my free lectures. If not, you'll recall, it's important to note that they all have different characteristics. Primarily risk. As you move progressively higher towards bigger companies with more funding, more employees, a bigger product profile, and so forth, less risk. So high risk down here, progressively less risk as you move up the ladder to post-IPO and big tech. Structure, along with that, there's going to be progressively more structure. So if you recall, pirate ship down here, progressively becoming a navy up here, and different types of personality profiles like different levels of structure. I'm a pretty laissez-faire free market guy. I like low levels of structure, so I've always stuck to seed, Series A, Series B. I could never see myself working for an Amazon, but some people just love that, and that's because of the lifestyle. I like, kind of being jack of all trades, doing lots of different things, kind of answering my own questions as opposed to being in a strict hierarchy. Some people like the hierarchy and the security and the lifestyle. So, that's a really important consideration. And then potential. If you join a seed stage company and you stick in it, you'll get equity, you'll be able to move up fast, and there's a lot of potential. If you get in with Amazon, let's say, or a big tech company, there's a lot of potential, but it's a different type of potential. There's a more rigid hierarchies. You can kind of time your career, if you know what I mean. Then companies. So let's say you've picked information technology, you've picked software, you've picked Series B or Series A, and now you have the company. Make a list of companies in that particular sector, and then company A, B, C, D, and E. Look at that growth. Growth's going to be a big trend here. Look at the product that company sells. Is it something that you understand? Is it interesting? Could you see yourself selling it? Look at the team. How long have they been there? What's their background? What's their experience? Could you see yourself working with them? And resources. What kind of resources are on offer? Does it look like they have strong marketing? Are there going to be good headwinds as far as lead generation? Is it going to be an easy sell or a hard sell? How do they help out their own people? Those are important considerations to ask. And then lastly, position. BDR, account executive, RSM, director of sales, VP of sales. Naturally, you'll be operating down here for starters, BDR and AE. And then after a few years, maybe you go for the RSM position. I've seen people get director in 4 years, so that can happen too. But look at the growth potential within the company and the position. Look at how much compensation they offer. Look at the responsibilities. What is the work that you'll be doing? And what kind of skill requirements do they have? Some companies want 2 to 3 years for an AE role. Some companies are willing to hire you off the bat. It really depends. The point I want to communicate here is structure. Industry, sector, stage, company, position. These are things to look out for. I want you to think about them when you're applying to companies so that you have a really good, great approach. And, have an Excel, build an Excel that you can use to map everything out and leverage it. So that's going to tie up ranking preferences. We're now going to look over to best resources and kind of sourcing mediums for finding that job.